Ever since the release of Star Wars The Last Jedi, a lot of fans have been very unhappy with the sequel trilogy, and especially with President of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, and how she has handled the Star Wars franchise with other projects as well in the past. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about, of course, the sequel trilogy is that there's a lot of inconsistencies in these movies. There's a lot of changes that were made from point A to point B of the sequel trilogy, and you can see how there's a lot of ups and downs to these three new Star Wars movies that were handled by Disney and Lucasfilm. Now, obviously, we do know that Kathleen Kennedy did not handle the Star Wars franchise greatly at all in any way, shape, or form as far as The Last Jedi goes and as far as the roadmap of the Star Wars franchise goes. In case you guys did not know, it was Kathleen Kennedy who was the one that canceled over 10 years worth of Star Wars movies. And in order to do that, she approached Bob Iger and convinced him to do so and to transfer those movies into TV shows instead. Now, honestly, I think it's a bit of a step down to actually have all those planned Star Wars movies to be turned into TV shows, because to me, I think that the real experience is to go ahead and see those Star Wars movies in theaters. Now, obviously, when we look at Star Wars as a whole, we do know that moving on forward past Episode 9, a lot of things are going to be changed. They're going to be handling Star Wars in a different way. And one of the dead giveaways of Kathleen Kennedy's removal, the fact that Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, it's explained that Disney CEO Bob Iger is starting to make strategic moves in order to evolve the Star Wars franchise and to bring Star Wars into a different direction for Lucasfilm with the future of the franchise and exactly how it should be handled moving forward. Now, one of the big plans that CEO of Disney is said to have is that he is currently looking for a rightful successor for President of Lucasfilm that would eventually replace Kathleen Kennedy, and that Bob Iger is said to have an eye on some candidates to take over as head/president of Lucasfilm. Given that Kathleen Kennedy's contract is over sometime in 2021, it only makes sense that this is the time for Bob Iger to be making these moves in order to prepare for Kathleen Kennedy's exit from Lucasfilm for the Star Wars franchise. Many fans have had issues with Kennedy's involvement with Star Wars, given that she approved many of the ideas for Rian Johnson, and how many of the projects and its creators had creative differences with her year by year. However, now Bob Iger is looking to make a move in order to evolve the franchise for somebody else to take control, that this is the first big hint that Kathleen Kennedy will be stepping down from Lucasfilm as president sometime in 2021, and also explains how she will have no creative involvement on projects after 2021. Though Kennedy will not have any creative connections to the Kenobi series, she will also be planning the future of Star Wars for the time being as far as constructing a roadmap for the franchise. It's noted that Bob Iger wants someone who knows Star Wars at its best to run the company and to bring it into a better direction. So everything related to Kathleen Kennedy, obviously a lot of fans have had issues with her because of what she did with The Last Jedi and what she did with over 10 years worth of Star Wars movies. I don't know if you guys knew this, but originally we were going to have one Star Wars movie every single year, even after Episode 9. There was going to be no hiatus or anything like that. There was going to be a Star Wars movie every single year, and obviously Disney CEO Bob Iger, at the time when Kathleen Kennedy canceled these movies, he actually blamed it on Star Wars fatigue, in which there was no fatigue. People were just very fed up with The Last Jedi and were very tired of what they were doing with Star Wars as a whole. Not a lot of people out there would really say that they absolutely loved Solo: A Star Wars Story and that it was a needed Star Wars movie. At best, it was entertaining to most fans out there. It was kind of similar to The Rise of Skywalker, where there's a lot of fans who loved and hated Solo: A Star Wars Story. That's kind of how The Rise of Skywalker reminds me of. Now, when we look at Kathleen Kennedy, obviously her contract is up in 2021. This is a dead giveaway. The fact that Bob Iger is now seeking somebody to take over as head of Lucasfilm, I think it is indeed a dead giveaway that she is going to be gone by 2021. Regardless, she's leaving and she is getting replaced. As a matter of when, that's a big question open on the table for discussion. It's pretty safe to say that it, yes, will be next year, since her contract is going to be over, and she herself even said at Star Wars Celebration and at the premiere for The Rise of Skywalker that she's really not quite sure, if she's going to be staying around or how long she will be at Lucasfilm for Star Wars as a whole. You know, the fact that she even said that just shows that she has a lot of thoughts about how she really should be involved with Star Wars and whether or not it really is just for her or not. Honestly, I think that Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni should become head of Lucasfilm because they have experience in all of this, both on the creative and business end of things. They do know elements of that, especially Jon Favreau, given that he's a producer. I think it only works best for him. And also Bob Iger, this was another big hint, is that he actually called Jon Favreau pretty much the next George Lucas. He sees a lot of George in Jon Favreau, and that to me speaks a lot for sure. So, with that being said, guys, I would really like to hear what each and every one of you have to say about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night